Welcome back once again, all of my low-carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto bread recipe for you. Today I am going to show you how to make an updated, easier, tastier version of my keto brown and serve dinner rolls. These are perfect for the holidays that are coming up. They're quick, they're easy, and delicious. And if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So, while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Line an 8 by 8 inch cake pan with parchment paper or an 8-inch round cake pan with parchment paper. Whatever size you use depends on how tightly fit you want your rolls. Then set your pan aside for a minute. In a large mixing bowl, combine 140 grams or around 1 1/4 cups of coconut flour, a half teaspoon of salt, 15 grams or around 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 36 grams or around 3 tablespoons of the granulated sweetener of your choice. I'm using granulated monk fruit sweetener. You can use whatever granulated sweetener you want. You can also use more or less depending on how much of a sweet taste you want in your rolls. If you don't want any sweet taste at all, you can leave this out completely. I like a slight little hint of a sweet taste in my rolls, but if you're not into a sweet taste, you can always leave the sweetener out completely and those still taste great. Add 9 grams or about 1 tablespoon of instant dry yeast. This is strictly for flavor. It does not help your rolls rise or anything like that. Coconut flour, baked goods just really don't rise no matter what you do. Basically, whatever shape and thickness you shape them into, that's what they're going to be. They'll expand a little bit, but not much. So the yeast is just to help balance out any coconut flour taste and make your rolls taste more like traditional bread rolls. Add 2 grams or around 3/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum or psyllium husk powder. This is to help keep your rolls flexible. That way when you go to shape them, they keep their shape well and they hold together well during the baking process. So you do not want to leave the xanthan gum or xanthan gum substitute out. You want to keep that in for flexibility of your dough. And if you're extra sensitive to coconut flour, you can always add some additional dry spices or dry herbs. That's up to you if you want your rolls to have a little bit more of a savory flavor. I like mine just as they are. Sift everything all together until everything is fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. Add 4 large room temperature eggs. Make sure they are room temperature so they stir in more smooth. Stir the eggs into the dry ingredients until everything is fully combined and all the dry ingredients are moist. Add a half cup of butter that's been melted and cooled. Make sure it is cooled. You do not want to add hot butter. Stir the butter in until everything is fully combined. Add 120 grams or around a half cup of room temperature plain yogurt or sour cream. Again, make sure this is room temperature so it combines well and makes a smooth dough. Stir the yogurt in until everything is fully combined. Add 59 milliliters or around 1/4 cup of warm milk of your choice. My favorite keto milk is coconut milk. You can use any milk. You do want this to be warm. That way it helps your dough stay nice and soft so that your rolls will be nice and soft once they are baked. Stir everything all together until everything is fully combined and a smooth dough has formed. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the dough to the center of the bowl. Massage the dough in your hands just for about 20-30 seconds. This is just to make sure that you have the right texture of your dough. Your dough should be very lightly moist, and as you're massaging it, the dough should be holding together well and forming a ball very easily. If it feels like it's not holding its shape well and it feels dry, feels like pieces are falling off while you're massaging the dough. Just add very small amounts of the warm milk of your choice or water until the dough comes together and is holding its shape well. Once you have the right texture, form the dough back into a ball and place it back into your mixing bowl. Scoop 3 tablespoons of dough out at a time and roll it into a smooth ball. Make sure the ball is smooth. Then place the dough ball into your prepared cake pan and use your hand and very slightly flatten the top of the ball so you have more of a roll shape rather than just a ball. And continue to repeat, scooping the dough out 3 tablespoons at a time, rolling it into a smooth ball, and placing it into your prepared cake pan. Make sure when you are putting the dough into your cake pan that each one of the dough balls are side by side in your cake pan. You want them right next to each other. Now, as I said in the beginning, what size cake pan you use depends on how tight you want your rolls together. I'm using an 8-inch round cake pan here. It's really best to use an 8x8 square cake pan, only because when you're using the round cake pan, you usually have about 3 rolls left over that you have to cook in a separate pan. So you'd have to dirty up another pan. It all depends on how tight you want your rolls and whether or not you want to dirty up an extra cake pan for just 3 extra rolls. Keep in mind, while you are shaping the dough, make sure that the dough stays smooth at all times. If there are any cracks in your dough, you run the risk of your rolls cracking during the baking process. So make sure that the dough stays smooth at all times. Once all the rolls have been shaped, then set them aside for just a minute. In a small bowl, combine 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of room temperature water. Use a fork and stir the egg and the water together until it is fully combined. Then lightly brush each roll with the egg wash. Just make it a light layer on top. You don't want a thick layer, just a light layer, just enough to cover the tops of each one of the rolls. Once the egg wash is brushed over the rolls, then place the pan in your preheated oven. Bake at 400 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes or until the rolls are browned on top and a tester comes out clean. Once the rolls are done baking, remove them from the oven, then allow them to cool in the pan for at least 20 minutes so that they can firm up so they can be easily removed from the pan. Now, if you are wanting to make these rolls ahead of time and you're not going to necessarily be serving them until like maybe a day or 2 later, then before you bake the rolls, don't brush them with the egg wash until you're actually ready to serve them. So if you're not going to be serving them within a 24-hour period, you would shape the rolls, but you would bake them without the egg wash, and you would only bake them for no more than 20 minutes. Then when you're ready to actually serve them, then you would brush them with the egg wash, and you would bake them at 350 degrees for about 7 to 10 minutes, just until the top is golden a little bit. So once you have your rolls all baked, transfer the rolls to a wire rack, and you can serve these warm or you can cool them to room temperature and eat them at room temperature. If you do have any leftovers, let them cool completely. You don't want to store warm bread. And after they've cooled completely, store them in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 3 days, or in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 1 week, or place them in a freezer-safe container or a Ziploc bag and freeze them for up to 3 months. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.